Hello again. So if you chose this one, this is your message. You are pile 2. So here we go. Let's see. Yeah. So first we're going with this one. So which energies are entering for my pile 2 right now? What do you want to speak about? Okay, we have this one. We have freedom, the energy of freedom. What else? What else? What else? Okay, this one. Grieving. So you have grieving and freedom. I'm interested to see the rest of the cards. Is there another? And peace. So pile 1 also had this one. So there might be something that is for some of you in pile 1 and 2. So if you came first to pile 2, I don't know if I should try to say in pile 1, but okay. But yeah, if you're here and you didn't see pile 1, maybe. Is there something else? This one. And home. Okay, so you have a lot that are coming from here. And transformation. So yeah, I'm seeing that this one wants to speak a lot more for you. Oop, this one. Blessings. So yeah, I don't necessarily choose the number of cards, I just see what comes. And travel. Okay, so yeah, so this is the second card that was in pile 1. So this is okay. And talent. Yeah, I really want to, because so grieving can be many ways. It can be the literal grieving. So my compassion, if this is a literal grieving. This can be about something you're letting go of, or that you do feel this sense of grief to letting go of. For example, especially with freedom, maybe you had to let go or cut away something that you know, because there are the letting go, the cutting things that don't have any value. Sometimes there are things that you're like, this is not healthy for me, this is not beneficial, and you don't have beneficial things that make you happy or peaceful, this type of thing. So in a way, this is easy to let go of. It's like you just need to take this moment of saying, I cut that away, I let go of. But there are other things that you're going to like, you realize you need to let go of. You're like, I can't do this anymore, or I can't allow this anymore. But it's not completely, it's like there are the happy aspect and there are the unhappy aspect. And the unhappy aspect have taken over the happy aspect, and so even with the happy aspect that you are going to grieve for, you have to let go of, especially for your freedom or something like that. This can also be a sort of grieving for yourself as you transform. And you know, there are this sort of thing of storyline in a way. Grieving, freedom, and peace, and then transformation, blessing, and travel. So, and this can be the reason of the grief. Maybe you are transforming, breaking free, or this type of thing, and you know, moving away from your home. So it's like the energies, it's like this idea of grieving that is not necessarily literal, but like I said, my compassion, if this is literal. And I don't do death prediction, so for me this is like when I see grieving, it's like either this has happened already or you can expect this. It's like I'm never going to say someone is going to die. No, I don't do this. This is the idea that if we speak of physical death, this is ever something that has already happened, and this is why I said my compassion to you if this is a literal grieving, or if you have someone that has something that can bring them to physical death, it's nothing that is going to happen, but it can be just a little way of telling you, be prepared. But it's like, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't mean it will happen. If it's not something that has already happened, it's just the idea that I want to share an example. For example, I had to come to terms with physical death, with actual physical death that happened to my grandmother, or the idea that at some point I could lose my mother at any moment. So it's like, I didn't, she's still here. But it's like sometimes they are going to come and to tell you, if it has already happened, they want to bring this comforting message, because what the rest of the cards say is beneficial, comforting, there is something comforting, something that can bring you peace. So they want to comfort you without denying or removing the grief. So if it has already happened, this is a comforting, a compassion message that is like, take the time and then see the energies, know the energies that are waiting for you. But you don't have to go toward them as long as you don't feel ready, as long as you want to grieve. And on the card here, there is a butterfly, and the transformation card is a butterfly. So it's like, if this is literal and it has already happened, take the time, and the transformation is not going to be forced onto you. They are never going to force a transformation onto you. When you take the time to grieve, and when you feel you do want to move toward transformation, freedom, peace, all I'm going to speak, it's going to be there for you and it's going to happen for you. The energy is there, but it's going to respect you. And then if it's a situation where there has not been a physical death, but the worry that it might happen, it's like, come to terms with it, this worry, this fear. Respect yourself, respect this, and again, here are the things that are with you, and it's like whatever happens, it's there for you, and it's like you can already touch this, work with this, or it's going to be there and waiting for you for when you want to touch it. And then, like I said, it can be more figurative, the grieving of your old home, of the old self, this type of thing. But I think there has to be at least one person that is going to watch that has this message that is more literal, because otherwise I wouldn't have felt like saying this. And it's like I said, it's meant to be comforting, to be like, no one is going to, and no one should force you to do things and work on things when you want to take the time to grieve. But as the card can be seen, there is this idea, like I said, there is home and transformation and blessing and travel. So there is the idea of moving, and then freedom and peace. And maybe then there is the idea that you've been in grief for a while for some reason, any reason, literal, figurative. And if you're seeking the freedom from that, it's within you. It's like, it's there. And all you have to do is choose, I want to be free from this. And this is when you're going to transform and receive all this blessing. So if the reason to grieve is recent or hasn't happened, it's the idea that you're not going to be trapped in this. You take the time to grieve, and then you choose when you want to be free and recover, return to the peace. Because the thing is that grief is something that is about allowing the sadness of losing something that matters to you. But it's like you take the time. The thing is that if you stay in grief, but it's like anything, if you stay in anything, you take the risk of this not being healthy for you anymore. Grief is healthy as long as you need it. So it's healthy to allow the grief, but it's also healthy to let go of the grief, to become free of the grief when it's time for you, when you sense it's becoming unhealthy. And that's when, so you can be at peace while being, your peace is going to be, and your freedom, it's your freedom to choose when to be at grief and when not. It's your freedom, it's your peace. So it's like grieving is going to be peaceful for you because you need to express this, you need to be invested to let it pass through you. And then it's going to be your peace to let go of it, to really move into this transformation where you make peace with what happened, that caused the grief, literal, figurative, because you've grieved, mourned all the way you wanted, and now the sadness wants to go. You want to let go of the sadness and you want to make peace, like I said. And it's a very hopeful message because the transformation energy is there, the blessing, the peace, the freedom. It's just about what you want and how you want to do things. And especially with the little bonus of talents and travels, maybe freedom also and blessing, maybe you're going to find this peace, especially while grieving or while you have that. You can feel that peace and that way that helps you through your own talents. So it's like, depending the creative talents or any type of skills or anything, or whether or not you like to travel and this type of thing, you are going to find a certain peace and the sensation of blessing yourself through this. So I'm going to see what is being added. Oh, okay. So you have the 10 of Fire, which is all about self-mastery. So this goes back to talents. The 5 of Air, that is about letting go of your mask and illusion and this type of things. The 9 of Earth, that is all about altruism and generosity. The 4 of Earth, that is okay. That is about. I think I'm going to look exactly. It's about the basis, the foundation. Okay, and we have the 7 and the 8 of Air. This speaks of your belief and the nuance between speaking your belief and imposing your belief, or someone else doing this. And this is about which belief, which view are hurting you and which are helping you. And this is healing, the bonus. So what I see, again, there is this sense of something is hurting you, something is making you sad. It can be the belief, the view you have, or the view others are trying to put on you. Again, there can be maybe the way that it is the mourning of the old you are changing, and sometimes, we choose to change, or we are changing and we are happy with it and everything, and sometimes we can have this period of a sense of sadness, and then we become free of it and we feel at peace. So let me see, as it is 4 of Earth, I want to see, no, Earth. So the 4 of Earth is commitment, stability, reliability, steady progress, endurance, perseverance, stoicism. Slow and steady progress, one step at a time. Fear and doubt, slow forward momentum. Do not falter, rest and recharge. A good outcome ahead. Do not make hasty decisions. Watch for careless errors. So maybe this sense of sadness is also that it has been slow for you. Yeah, this is like, there is this sense of sadness, which can be something very literal, more figurative. It can be something is slow. Maybe it's the idea of realizing, it's like maybe you are seeing some things that you want to change. And it's like maybe, again, maybe, like I said, it can be something, your own views or something that you realize you need to change now. It can have been beneficial, healthy, but now it isn't anymore. Or it can be someone else. And it's like I said, a figurative grieving where you realize someone else is unhealthy for you in certain ways. Maybe it's like, and this is the more difficult ways, you can have someone that is unhealthy and you don't feel healthy and this type of thing, and you really want to cut things. And there are these people that you care for this person, or these people, or the situation, or anything, but you recognize, you drop the mask, the illusion, you see past illusion and mask, and you see the truth, and you see the way they might be hurting you. It can be the way they try to preach, or the way their views are being imposed, or the way you feel that has been hurtful to you because of them, this type of thing. And it's like maybe they have good intention, or maybe not everything is unhealthy for you, but what is unhealthy, what is hurting you, you cannot allow it anymore, and you're grieving the way you have to transform the situation. And because of it might be family, it might be people you live with. So it's like maybe you're seeing now that there is something that is hurting you and you cannot allow it, and despite the beneficial aspect, the healthy aspect of this type of thing, you sense that you have to do something, and there is a sense of sadness because you know this is going to change things and a certain distance or break or this type of thing. And the thing is that the other cards are speaking of freedom, of peace, of blessing, of travel, of self-mastery, of this altruism, this slow, steady progress. So it's like, if this is a choice you have made, something that you can say, yes, this is how it's been going and it has been slow. If this is a choice you're hesitating to make, or you feel unhappy, unhealthy, and you're not certain why, this is the idea that this choice of seeing what is painful, what is unhealthy, which can be other people, a part of a situation, a part of other people, and in the most compassionate way, when I speak of your views, it's like views, they are not going to be hurtful as long as they are useful to you. So if at some point it becomes hurtful and you can say this is because of my own views or my own action or choices, it's not that you made any mistake, it's that at some point this was the choice you wanted to make, that you felt was best for you, this type of thing. It can be the views were helpful, this type of thing, and it's changing, and you can only say this is not healthy for me anymore when it's not. So it's like it can have been helpful, useful, healthy, happy for you, this type of thing, safe, pleasant, satisfactory, this type of thing, but at some point it changed and you finally notice it. And this is why it can be freedom. It can be liberating, sad and liberating to realize, oh, I can't do this anymore. Oh, this person, I can't accept this no. You can expect and respect this person who wants this or say this or is like this. And the idea that you cannot control the freedom of another, but you can say, I don't want to permit this anymore. This cannot continue anymore. And this is liberating because maybe there was an illusion. Maybe you were thinking that maybe you can grieve a false sense of peace. Maybe there was a mask where you were thinking, finally we are going to be at peace, and then you realize, no, it's not. And you realize your freedom is within the transformation, the change you can do, and it's like you realize that this person or this situation is not going to change by itself. It's like I said, maybe with a person, especially with a person, maybe you are thinking this person was changing, but you realize no, you see past the mask and the illusion, and you realize that you have to take care of yourself, to be the one to transform and bless yourself and bring yourself to self-mastery, understand yourself, your craft, what you can do. And through that, you are going to liberate yourself fully. But the simple way of seeing clearly truth is liberating because you're not falling into the false belief anymore. If you know that someone has not changed and you can see that don't want to change, and so this is going to continue hurting you, because if someone refuses to change, if someone is hurting you, is unhealthy for you in some ways, and then refuse to change, we can accept and respect it is their choice, even if it is hurtful for others, because you cannot force a change. You cannot force someone a choice because it's hurtful also. It's like this is the complexity of things. It's like even if they are unhealthy for others or to themselves, if they don't want to change, we cannot force them because they're going to reject this. They're going to defend themselves the same way that you are going to defend yourself, or you feel you want to defend yourself when someone is trying to force a choice. So we accept and respect this person is not wanting to change, but you're not allowing anymore the unhealthy, the hurt, the painful, the unsafe, whatever. And so you understand this is like this with them, and you do what you have to do to transform, to find freedom, to find peace, to bless yourself. This can be to travel away from home for vacation or to move. And this is also the way you can make something for you and be compassionate for yourself. And the healing, and yeah, like I said, there is something maybe about your talent, your skill. You can find this transformation, this peace, this freedom, and this healing energy in your skills. And there is something about mastering yourself. So this is your emotion, your belief, your power, your magic, your practice, this type of thing, your talent, your creativity, all these things. And yeah. So then I'm going to see with the dragons or the crystal. No, the dragons first. What can they add? Okay, we have the self gathering your power. So yeah, this is really about looking at yourself. Let's see this verse. Okay. Destruction, releasing your anger. And trust, love, and friendship. Okay, so I see. Is there something else? No. And contemplating the future. So there is really this sense of. So, like I said, this can speak in many ways. Like I said, this can be that you have been grieving sadness for a long while. Maybe it's more recent. Maybe it's something, maybe of the present moment. And this is really speaking of being able to center in yourself, to let yourself feel sadness, but to remember the freedom you have in your own power, in your own self-mastery, and that if you feel angry also, to let it. And it's like anger can manifest in many ways. This can be where this anger becomes a fire to make your boundaries. This can be the way that you take time to find somewhere to scream, to tap, to punch something, a pillow, something. Don't hurt yourself. And And I'm going to say, if you have this urge to hurt someone or hurt yourself, it's like to accept and respect this is the urge, because if you reject it or push it away, it's going to grow. So it's like accept and respect the way you want to hurt someone or hurt yourself, but then ask yourself, is it really what I want? And it's like the idea to take the time, what are the way I can express my anger and my sadness that are going to be less painful to other or to myself? Because the thing is that as much as we can think that we need, or it's like we have to, or this is the only way to help. Pain, hurt, unsafe, this type of thing, we instinctively don't want them. We want to feel at peace, we want to feel safe, we want to feel happy, we don't want to feel pain. So the idea is that accept and respect your sadness, your anger, the way you want to hurt others or yourself, but ask yourself, is it what I want? And what can I do to express, release, without hurting myself or others, or to lessen it? So for example, I remember seeing an advice, instead of hurting yourself, to, I don't know, take a pen or a tattoo pen or a thing and to do something. You know, it's like the way to not hurt yourself as much as you want to hurt yourself, or not hurt others as much as you feel initially. And it's like, especially if you have to cut away someone or put distance or say no to some things, maybe it's like, yeah, something can be hurtful, but if you have to express, stop this, I need you to stop this, you know, it's like, and or I need distance from you, or I need to part ways, it can cause sadness in another. Maybe it is you who is feeling sad because someone has done this. And the idea of the energy is that it's always about what is healthy for you. So if the sadness is because of someone else, it can be that they are causing you pain, or that they have done something to protect themselves that has caused you pain. And in both cases, it's the idea that there is their own choices, their own path, their own health, and there is your choices, your path, your own health. And it's like you're just seeking, each of you, to feel peace, to feel this love, this friendship, this appreciation. So it can be complicated. This is the complexity of being people and being of free will and this type of thing. But the more you can understand this, the more you can let the sadness flow, let the hurt, the anger, everything, and then liberate yourself and feel your own power, your own transformation, your own peace, and be able to find the people, the situations, the things that you trust, you love, you feel friendship, appreciation, that is honest. So yeah, I can see I can feel this type of difficult situation or sadness or anger, and it's like I said, accept and respect what you feel, what you want, and then just ask yourself questions. Take the time to sit with yourself, to find this place of center peace, express your anger, speak to yourself, what do you want to do, what is, you know, ask yourself. I don't know, I'm considering whether or not to read for the cards. I'm not feeling called to, because we see, and maybe especially for this pile, like I said, in the intro you can ask for personal reading after, and considering what I'm sensing in this, it can be strongly beneficial to ask for a personal reading so that it can be more personal. But even if you don't, I hope you will receive help through this. So I'm going to add the crystal. Which crystal? Protection. So this can be, yeah, protecting yourself. Let's see what else. Whoop! Okay. Inspiration. Petit bonus. So we have channeling. So this goes a little bit with self-mastery. Channeling, balance, prosperity, manifestation, ancestor, and boundaries. So yeah, let's see. Boundaries. So there are multiple things. So of course we have a sense of confirmation with protection and boundaries. So this can mean two things. This can mean you are the one that is needed to make protection and boundaries because someone else or a situation or things is painful to you and healthy. Or this can be the confirmation for a few of you where I speak that it's like the action of someone else, but they are the one that have expressed for boundaries or asking you to stop, or you know, like I said, it can be that the pain, the sadness, the anger, this type of thing is because you're being in an unhealthy situation, relation, this type of thing, and there is this, you need to place boundaries, protection, this type of thing. Or it's a way that you can be sad or you don't understand or this type of thing where someone else express their boundaries, protect themselves. And the thing is that this can cause sadness and pain, but it's like the nuance between someone that is hurtful because they're projecting something. Often, like I see myself, because we naturally seek to not feel pain, we naturally seek to feel good, to feel happy, to feel at peace, etc. Or if we like pain, we like to choose it. So if someone is projecting, is hurting others, either they have a pain, they don't know what to do with it and they project to others, or they like to inflict pain, but they don't understand that not everyone is welcoming of it. So it's like if someone is hurting you, it's the idea that they can be hurt at pain, unhealthy. There can be something and they're projecting it. They can like to inflict pain but not realize you don't want this pain. And the same applies to you. If you see that someone is expressing a boundary, it can be that you have a pain that you are projecting. It can be that you were doing something, maybe you don't even realize it is painful, and you didn't realize until they express it, and you know, it's the idea that it's just about boundaries and protection. And then there's the idea that maybe it's not about pain, it's about the idea that when you are interacting with someone, there is a give and receive, and until someone receive, they might not realize or something you receive can be healthy then unhealthy, or you don't realize right away. And when someone realizes, the other person is only going to realize if they express their boundaries. But in the expression of boundaries and protection, the other can not realize right away, understand, and you know, and especially if there is a difference, it's what you need, what you want, what you like. Someone else or yourself, you might not understand why the other person doesn't want, doesn't like this type of thing, but it's the idea to accept and respect that you are as you are, they are as they are, and expressing boundaries is a protection for you as much as for them, because it's like they're telling you, please stop doing this, because the thing is that if we feel threatened or if we really need to defend ourselves, we are not going to take into consideration if we are hurting another. We can only take someone else in consideration if we already have a sense of safety. So if we feel unsafe or unhealthy or really at pain, is the idea that we are going to hurt others because we don't have the mental space or the emotional space to try to be more nuanced or this type of thing. You know, it's like when we need to protect ourselves and place boundaries, we don't have the mental space or emotional space to make it softer, I want to say. We're going to say no. And the thing is that if we have learned to master ourselves and we understand ourselves and what is healthy for us, if someone is coming at us, we are going to be firm in compassion. We're going to say no, because this is not something I will permit. And if they insist, it's like, well, you're insisting, I'm telling you no, and you're insisting. So it's like the first time you express boundaries is the compassion, the protection of saying, this is the boundaries I have, respect it, please. And it's like you shouldn't have to express it a second time. It's like each of us is free to decide if you're going to be compassionate a second time, a third time, etc. But it's like, how many times are you going to permit that a boundary is crossed until you're going to say, you keep hurting me, stop. And if you don't stop, it's the end. So then you have the idea of balance. So the idea of finding your center and balance, to have this way of grounding, protecting. So this is really a way of, like I said, be it because of something else or yourself, or this type, if the sadness, the pain, the anger is internal, external, both, is the idea of really protecting yourself, of being kinder to yourself, and letting your power rise and lust this compassion, this. And there is the channeling of ancestor. So there is maybe a grief with ancestor, and then it's the idea of channeling, seeking a divination method to speak with them. Or it can be that you have ancestors that are there to help you. So first, water. So an ancestor can be your blood family. It can be, for example, people that it can be people that have been in the exact same situation as you. They are ancestors in the way that they have been in this situation. It can be ancestor of path. So, you know, if you have a certain type of practice, it's all the people that have had this practice. If you're LGBT, lesbian, gay, trans, queer, ace, especially as we are in June, the Pride Month, this can be all the people that have lived before, that have had the same identity or orientation as you, and they can be here to help you. And then we have this way of moving, like I said, and now that I speak of the Pride Month, maybe this is also this type, because like I said, of home, moving, this type of thing, maybe, to protect yourself and a certain sense of sadness, but to move, to find your peace, your freedom, your happiness, your prosperity, and this is the way the sadness and the liberation, the freedom that comes when you realize you're not going to find it with the people around you right now. It's sad, especially if you still care for them, but there is freedom in understanding that it's not going to be them, because you understand that you rely on yourself, you really place yourself first, because you need to, you have to, you can sense that your health, your well-being is through your own power, and then you can seek to move, to travel, and to find the people that are going to give you true love, true friendship, that you can trust. And this is, you know, this card, to look forward to the future, you can look at the past or the present past, and let it flow, the sadness, the anger, but to look forward. And it's like, again, there is also a sense that you can find a certain sense of peace, of help, and this type of thing to help you heal through your talent and inspiration. And another message is maybe that this freedom, this peace, these people that are going to be healthy for you, your prosperity, etc., can be your skill and your creativity. If you have skill and creative ways you like to express yourself, there can be freedom, peace, manifestation, prosperity, etc. in this. So in this pen, this is really this idea that difficult situation of right now and moving forward. And maybe some of you are already forward, and this is a confirmation that this is the path to your prosperity, your peace. But yeah, I do feel that most of you is more this idea of right now is sad, angry, hurtful, this type of thing. And especially that comes with Pride Month based on our identity orientation. And it's like this realization that is both sad and liberating, that the people around you, you can care for them, but they are not going to give you this unconditional care that you deserve. So it's like, it's sad, but in this realization, you become free of taking care of yourself, focusing on yourself, and finding your own path, what you want to do, your skill, your creativity, and the idea that you have ancestors, one way or another, that are going to be helpful to you. And yeah. And the idea of blessing is also, you can bless yourself, but you have entities, guides, angels, ancestors, deities, whoever you interact with, that are there to help you, bless you, help you in your transformation, that can be spoken to, channeled. They're going to protect you and everything. And it's just the idea that the more you yourself say, yes, I want to be protected, yes, I want to place my boundaries, the more they're going to be able to help you do this. And again, like anyone in any pile can come ask me for personal reading, but yeah, I would really encourage, if this really resonates with you, to come to me in a personal reading, so that we can really access the personal aspect of your situation, to really see what they can say. And it's like, literally, there can be ancestors that are trying to say, if you have trouble speaking to us, or even if you want an additional person speaking to you, to let them speak through me. Because this is something that applies to me too. There is something that is really powerful when other people are going to speak messages that are going to be what you yourself have been hearing. It's like a confirmation. And because it's going to be, it's easy when you are alone, when you do for yourself, to say, is it what they are saying, or is it what I want them to say? But when there is someone else speaking to you, you can see more. But at the same time, if someone else is speaking something that is you don't like, it doesn't mean that they are better than you, or they are more right than you. Because at the end of the day, your spirits, your guides, your angel, however you want to call it, they are going to speak what you need to hear. And it's like someone else is going to speak through their own views. So it's the way that you place yourself. And if you like what is, if you hear something and you're like, this is a relief to you, this is helpful, this type of thing, you feel grateful, you feel, yes, so this is helpful, this is healing, this is for you. And if something you're like, oh no, I don't like that, of course it can be that you don't like to hear something that you know is truth, or you know you have to work on something, or this type of thing. But if your instinct is to reject the message, it means that for a reason or another, you are not ready for this message. Or this message is not for you. So, in a general reading, this is more complex, more gray. In a personal reading, if a message is given to you personally and you don't like it, it's like the idea, do you don't like it because you just don't like it, or it's just that you don't like where it's leading you? And it's like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. It's like, we shouldn't force each other to do something just because one person is thinking it's the best for another. So it's like, if you come to me to a personal reading and I speak my message, if you hear and it resonates and it feel helpful and healing and this type of thing, all is well. And if you're not going to find exactly things you don't like, I'm going to say, well, you can file it for later or keep it on the side. And it's like, we're just going to seek the message that speak to you. If you tell me this isn't helping you, or you don't feel something, I'm going to say, well, this may be my way of speaking, or maybe something that, this type of thing. It's like, I'm going to be seeking to deliver the message you need and want and like, and not this type of forcing message. And so, like I said, it's the idea that, of course, when you read for yourself, when you seek for yourself, you can doubt, is it truly a message or what I want to hear? But the thing is that they are always going to tell you what you need. And if you it's like, it's not about is it right or correct or this type of thing. A message is going to feel good for you, is going to feel positive, is going to feel, you're going to accept a message, you're going to really feel this relief, this yes, if the message is one you need. So even if it's like what you want to hear, maybe you will not find happiness for no in the message that will be correct, so to speak. And it's like I said, they're going to speak what you need. And what you need is to feel at peace, to feel what is peaceful, what is bringing you happiness, a sense of safety, of healing. So they're only going to speak. And this is the idea that they are not going to be telling lies or false truth. It's just that what you need, they are going to take into consideration what you need. And like I said, what you need is this sense of safety, of satisfaction, of finding peace, finding yourself, healing yourself, being able to be free of pain. And so it's like the message, of course they're going to feel nice. It's like they have to, in a way. It's like, maybe some of you need the shock, this type of thing, but if you seek to feel nice, to feel happy, a message that makes you feel unhappy, at best, there is, it's like, what is the point? What is the message? If it makes you feel unhappy to hear the message, how can it be your path to happiness? Instead, it can simply be that this message is not for you. So it's like, it's not about being true or correct or anything. If it feels nice, it feels nice. If it doesn't feel nice, it doesn't feel nice. And the thing is that if you ask yourself the question, but you cannot say, it's like, if a message is one that is hard to hear, but is healthy, is going to bring you happiness, you're going to feel it that it's hard, but you're not going to feel unhappy with it. If you feel unhappy, it's not a message for you, or the way of speaking is not for you. So maybe this can go back earlier, someone that is speaking to you. Maybe someone is speaking to you as if they have the messages, and this can literally be maybe this person is spiritual, and you feel like they are better than you, or they have the truth, or you doubt yourself, and it's like if their messages make you feel unhappy, something is not going well, because at the basis, even if something is hard to hear, what you need is a message that brings you relief. The message is supposed to make you feel, yes. It can be hard. You can say, oh yes, but you're going to say, yes, this is what I need to hear, what I want to hear. So if something is unhappy, this type of thing, it means that the message, the advice, the thing is not for you. So I think this is everything I'm seeing. So yeah, like I said, this will be where I really encourage to reach out personally. Like I said, unless you have heard everything you needed to hear, but if you feel like you want even more, you're like, yes, I need this, come to me. You have the link in the description, and like I mentioned, I think in the introduction, this is not a paid service. I have my reason, but I don't do paid services. I only work with donation for many reasons. This is my path. So yes, and to finish, again, with manifestation, peace, freedom, trust, love and friendship, prosperity, there is something, you have your path, you have happiness. It's like, I don't know why I want to say this. Yes, you deserve happiness. You deserve freedom. You deserve peace, prosperity. And especially, I think I was speaking of this at some point, that it may have been your action or your thing that has been painful to another. You don't have to stay in this state. It's like, if you have come into a point where you realize you have been painful to others, you have hurt others, you've done it, you noticed. And the way to, and if you're sad or angry at yourself or at others, it's like, of course, but then it's the idea that you've done it, you transform yourself. The moment you can say, I don't want to do this anymore, or this is something that make me feel angry now, or this type of thing, it's something that you don't want to do anymore. You want to change, and this is what you need. This is everything. And especially if someone is continuing or maintaining the idea that you need to be in a way lower yourself because you were the one who made mistake, it's like, no. It's like the idea of not deserving happiness because you have been hurtful to another is just as hurtful. So it's like, be it that it is someone else or just yourself, you deserve happiness, you deserve peace, you deserve freedom, prosperity, whatever you consider mistake, failure, whatever you did, if you consider, and it's like the idea that whether it is that you regret things or the idea that this is who you are and you just understand that not everyone is going to permit this type of thing, you deserve happiness, you deserve peace, you deserve your safety, you deserve people that are going to be healthy for you and this type of thing, where there is going to be friendship, love, trust, you deserve prosperity. Everyone does. It's not because someone has done what we call mistakes or hurt others, but this is it, they don't deserve anymore. No. We all deserve our happiness, our peace, our freedom, and that's why it's complicated, because it's like we all deserve freedom, so my freedom stops at yours, because we all deserve this freedom. My peace stops at yours, my prosperity, my happiness, this type of thing. So it's like we all deserve our freedom, or peace, or happiness, or safety, or people that are healthy for us. And due to all of us deserving this, none of us have any right to deny another freedom, another peace, another happiness. So it's like you deserve happiness, someone else deserves happiness, the same way that you have every right to your anger and your sadness, and they have the right to anger and sadness. It's like, it's all about you, because you are, there is only you living your own life. Your life is your story, and all other people have their story, but they don't play the main role in your story, and you don't play the main role in their story. You are the protagonist of your own story, and no one else is, and you are not the protagonist of someone else's story. They are their own protagonist. So it's like your mastery is yourself, what is yours, and everything that is someone else is theirs to master, theirs to make, theirs to do, and this type of thing. And the more we can understand this, the more we can truly come into our own power, our own freedom, and find this peace, because we understand there is no judgment, there is no right or wrong, because it's just about what works for someone, what is healthy for someone. And if someone is unhealthy for you, there is no right or wrong, it's just what they are unhealthy for you. They can be healthy for someone else, and they can look like they'll never be healthy for someone, but there is always going to be the potential for them to be healthy for someone. And this is what is important. It's not, like say, the reality of it is the potential, is the idea that because they might be healthy for someone, it's like they can be healthy for someone. There is a potential. The same way that something, a message or a belief, a view, this type of thing, it's not because everyone that is living a belief is unhappy that the belief itself is always going to be unhappy. There is always the potential for everything to be healthy and unhealthy. Something is going to be healthy and unhealthy based on you. So it's really this idea that the more you understand this, the more you liberate yourself from judgment, for criticism, for this type of thing. Because you understand that there is only what is healthy and safe for you, what is going to bring you happiness. And the same applies to everyone. So it's this complexity of navigating, finding the people that will share the same and similar ways of being happy, of being safe, of being healthy. And so if someone is unhealthy and safe, this type of thing, it's just that they don't share the same needs, the same wants, the same likes. So it's just this idea of finding the people to have safety with. It's like you cannot force someone to become safe for you. You find the people safe for you. If someone else wish to remain in your life, this is like if someone cares for you but is unhealthy for you, they cannot force you to accept to permit that they continue to be unhealthy for you. It's either they change, they are willing to change so that you can continue to interact, or they have to accept the idea that you want, that you can care for them and they can care for you, but if they are unhealthy and they don't want to change, you respect their choice. You say, okay, this is your choice, but I cannot continue like this, so I go. It's like the idea that, like I said, this is about each person's well-being. So this is everything. And I wish you grace and gratitude and all my compassion. And again, feel free to come ask for personal reading. But yes, all my well wishes, and see you around.